A chemical structure is the makeup of bonds, chemicals, and elements within a substance. The chemical structure of the pancakes is broken down into the structure of its ingredients. The chemical structure is of the first bowl of batter consisting of flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. The second bowl is made up of milk, butter, and egg. You then mix both batters together to form milk-made pancakes. After the pancakes are done, we add the Nutella spread on top to give it the chocolate flavor. The first detail of the chemical structure is flour, sugar, baking powder. The second detail for the chemical structure is lactose-free milk, vegetable oil, 1 egg, and butter. The third detail chemical structure is Nutella. Nutella has sugar, palm oil, hazelnuts, and cocoa. Spoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder,
1/2 teaspoons of salt,
1 cup of flour,
1 cup of milk,
2 tablespoons of butter.
oh god.
Alright, and 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and an egg.
There are 3 main components heat transfers to and from while cooking pancakes. There is the heating element, stove, heat transfer medium, oil, water, air, pan, etc., and the food itself, pancake. The heat moves from the element to the medium to the food. The temperature is the driving force of this transfer of heat. Heating up a pan to cook the pancakes uses radiation. Radiation is when energy waves are emitted by another object, stove. The transfer from the stove to the pancakes is conduction. The pan heats up and through direct contact it cooks the food.
A chemical reaction is a process that leads to the transformation of one set of chemical substances to another. There are 2 different types of pancakes, both containing different chemical reactions. In both types of pancakes, the main chemical reactions are used to create air bubbles to make the pancakes fluffy. These 2 types of pancakes are buttermilk pancakes, which contain baking soda, and milk pancakes, which contain baking powder. In our recipe, we used regular milk and baking powder. The reason for using baking powder is because it contains an acid that helps make it a double reacting agent to react with the milk that contains no acid, unlike buttermilk, and makes the pancakes fluffy. Other than the creation of air bubbles through chemical reactions, the flour that contains both gluten and gliadine bonds with a liquid to form gluten and hold the pancakes together. Also, while making pancakes, the Maillard reaction is done to give the pancakes their aroma and gorgeous golden brown color. The heat from the griddle causes the amino acids in the gluten proteins to chemically bond with carbon dioxide and oxygen atoms from the sugars and create the aroma we smell while making pancakes. This also means the more baking powder you add to the pancake mix will cause a darker pancake.
Alright, so now that our ingredients are done, let's talk about how we got there. So if we look at iron, it has a specific heat capacity of 0.45 joules per gram. And rather than using something like titanium or gold, we used iron because it allows the product to heat up faster because of its specific heat capacity. So now let's talk about the ingredients. So first, if we look at butter, we're going to see that it has a specific heat capacity of 2.72. It has such a high heat capacity because of the fats that it has in it. It's harder for them to break down when we put heat on it. So now let's talk about the eggs. So if we look at eggs, it has a specific heat capacity of 0.76. This is pretty low, but also is higher than iron. This is because of the fats and liquids that it has inside of the shell when we're cooking it. So now let's look at flour. So as we look at flour, it has a specific heat capacity of 0.38. It is a very low heat capacity because it's so dry and because of the chemical structures that it has in it. So now let's look at milk. So milk's specific heat capacity is 0.9. Because its heat capacity is so low, it allows it to heat up very quickly, but it can also spoil. So by changing its chemical structure and its chemical state biologically when heating it up, we can see that it changes because of such a low heat capacity. So I absolutely love these pancakes, and so does Judah, but he doesn't get any because he turned on Jesus.
It's Brittany, bitch.